Hey, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on Taurus Tech Talk. Sorry, Kevin, didn't mean to blow out your ears. For myself, Robert Parsons, my co-host, Corey Church. Today, we have the pleasure of Kevin Langham, our president here at Taurus Technologies, joining us. We've had Aaron on in a previous session, and we wanted to have you in, kind of ask some of the same questions.
We know what's really up now.
Yeah, really up. So we got his side. We got the kind of the sales side spin of it. Now we're going to get the fact side spin.
The warehouse.
I'm just looking for real answers, not the salesy stuff that Aaron sold us.
So Kevin, just tell us something about yourself and how you wanted to get into this business.
I didn't. I answered an ad in the paper to travel and have a salary.
Wow.
And that's what I started.
Nice. Look at that. Look at that. So now everybody is out there just clamoring to try to find, first of all, try to find a newspaper, like a printed newspaper.
In the classifieds of the Dallas Times-Herald, 748-1414, in case you want to call.
What was the name of that business?
That's the Dallas Times-Herald classified.
Why do you remember that?
748-1414.
It's a jingle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Holy crap.
So that's where I found it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What was the name of the company that you answered the ad for?
PDS. Power Data Services. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And was that here in the Metroplex area?
Yes, it was in Carrollton, I think. Well, I might be skipping ahead here, but I brought Aaron over.
Yeah.
Did the same because once, hey, this is a cool job. So I started bringing all my buddies over. That's kind of how we got started.
Did you pitch it to them, or you're just like, hey, this is a cool job. They pay a salary.
I said, hey, they pay a salary. You get to fly.
So hold on. I don't want to skip around too much, but you said something that I experienced also at, I think, 20 or 21. I responded to an ad that was also in the paper and also for a salaried position. Why is it at that age you're like, yeah, a salary. I want to get paid a fixed amount for Lord knows however much work I'm going to do.
I was a waiter before that, and I mowed yards. So, you just never know how much you're going to make. So it was nice to have a salary.
So
it was actually
pay.
less. It was actually less money than I made at Chili's Circa R.
But it was secure, and you didn't have to
yeah.
worry about if it was raining.
Right. And I got to travel, and it was just cool. I thought it was cool. Anyway.
Very cool. Very cool. So how did you first meet Aaron?
First met Aaron at Chili's
Okay.
in 1992 or 3. We worked there together. Renee also worked there with him. But we actually went to junior high together. Didn't know each other, though. In Irving, South Irving, we went to junior high.
I remember that now.
But we were great apart. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. Then we went to separate high schools. I moved to Grand Prairie. So,
Gotcha.
but that's where I met him at Chili's.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool.
I've heard some Chili's stories.
Yeah, there's a lot of Chili's.
You drove a Ranger, right?
I did a Ranger Splash 6.0. I mean, sorry, not 6, 4.0, 5-speed. Oh,
Was it white?
it was white. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Were all splashes white?
No,
I think all
there was yellow and black.
Okay, all
I
right.
think that was like the marquee car on Baywatch for a while.
Probably. I mean,
Those
called
were
a
yellow.
Splash.
I think you're right.
it was fun. Fun little car, and it got wrecked. That's another story.
It got wrecked. We don't need to unpack that any.
Do you remember the grass clock in Las Colinas?
No.
Remember the big grass clock there?
Yeah.
At O'Connor?
Yes, of
Or
course.
do you
I do.
remember
I'm
the
sorry.
giant
I'm sorry.
culvert next
I'm
to it?
sorry.
What's
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
statute of limitations here before we...
Well, nothing happened. I mean, just, it did land on the front like this, and luckily it landed back on the wheels. But
Yeah, I think Aaron was with you, right?
he was with me,
Yeah.
yes. We were coming back
And
from
Renee.
a restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. A sociable event.
Social event.
So we asked Aaron this question, but I think it's cool to hear it in your words too. So why Taurus? Why the name Taurus for the company?
Well, I was seated in my office at my home where I do a lot of my thinking, and
I got one of those.
I was on the phone call with Aaron, and we were trying to figure out what the name was going to be, and we were just throwing stuff around, and he said something like Gemini. And I was like, well, if we're going to go with the astrological signs, we're both Tauruses. There you go.
Nice. So we could have been Gemini Technologies.
No, I wouldn't let that happen. No,
It didn't get past that.
Right.
There was no subsequent
I mean, it was just like
discussions?
no, it was just like, hey, that sounds cool. Hey, that sounds cool. We're both Tauruses. Boom. That was it.
I feel personally attacked by the fact that you would never name it Gemini Technologies, by the way.
It just doesn't flow. Just doesn't.
Here I'm
And
sitting.
we tried to
here
hire
like, I want
only
some-
Tauruses if we could, but
Oh,
See
so
how
keep
that,
it up
how that
forever.
me
rolls.
being a Leo just doesn't work
I'm
out.
like,
for that.
I think I said this whenever Aaron gave his answer, but I'm 2 days off of being a Taurus.
Are you?
And we just call it, if you're in the month of May, I don't know what the actual dates are, but then you're a Taurus. Just the month of May.
And you guys, Aaron disclosed this information last time. You guys have tattoos to
Yes.
commemorate that,
Yes.
but it's not a Gemini tattoo; it's a Taurus tattoo.
Well, yes, I do have a Taurus. I don't know whether he has a Taurus and a Gemini. I can't answer that, but
To be clear,
We didn't
Taurus,
make
yes.
anybody. We didn't make him show it to the camera or anything. So we're not
this would
gonna
be
go
much
that
more
way.
difficult to show than mine. But yes.
it just to be clear, it's of the logo,
Yeah.
Not-
sorry.
not
Come
the
on, just-
bull, not the astrological sign.
It's
of
this
our
guy right
logo.
here.
Yeah. This is a perfect example.
That's this guy right here.
We didn't. So we've left that to wonder because a lot of people get it wrong, and so we don't ever explain it to anybody.
Oh, okay. Well,
Purposefully.
we're going to leave it that way then, huh?
Because I've had it explained at least 3 different ways that were wrong, and I'm like, okay.
We chose between 5 options that Renee gave us that were good logos. And
We got to make sure Renee listens to these 2
and we,
podcasts because he's gotten
we
plugged.
chose this one.
He's gotten plugged
Yeah,
at both of them
several
pretty
times.
pretty
We
good.
chose this one because it's just, it's a bit abstract.
What's his?
But if I told you what it was, you'd know right away. You'd
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
I've had people who have worked here for more than a year get it wrong.
I think it's a spaceship or
I let
something
that,
like that.
I let that go. And the last one is that I also worked here for about 18 months before I knew what it was.
Oh, it was you. It was
Well,
you.
To be honest, you had suffered a traumatic electrocution at some point in there.
I don't
so
understand why I keep getting. I'm the one that gets picked on in these.
Yeah.
All right. So if you can look back, because Taurus has been around since the spring of 2003.
Mhm.
So we're at our 18th year. Looking back, what made you want to start Taurus Technologies?
So I had worked for, at that point, probably 3 AV companies. PDS wasn't an AV company, but they started subcontracting to do AV, Polycom installations, and that's how I actually got into video conferencing. And then, few companies after that, then now I'm doing integration, working for an integration company. And so they sold. The company I was working for sold. They were out of Ohio, and they sold to some software company from Israel or something. We couldn't figure it out. It wasn't related at all.
Gotcha.
The businesses weren't related,
Yeah.
and then subsequently laid everybody off. So I started selling floors for a buddy just to make some money, and then I started subcontracting for a company out of Chicago that a friend of mine was working for. I started doing installations for him, and so after doing that for a little while, just was like, hey man, I approached Scoop, who had a good job at the time, with another AV company here in town, and was like, hey, you want to, let's do it on our own, and so that's kind of how it went.
Very cool.
I didn't have I didn't have far to go down. I didn't make a lot of money, so it was pretty much.
You were just
it couldn't
looking
get any
at
worse,
sky's the limit, yeah.
It's like, hey, what's to lose, So
Yeah, if we do this for 12 months and then have to go get jobs,
I wouldn't have lost any money. Aaron, I have to admit, took the bigger chance, really,
Yeah.
because he had a decent job. But Aaron, he wanted to do his own thing too, just like I did, and
Yeah.
we learned what not to do at all these other companies. So we tried to put all that into practice or not into practice. Don't do those things.
Smart.
And hopefully we had some good ideas. So that's how.
Yeah. The meaning of history is knowing one's place and time and understanding how you got there.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Dad taught me that.
What you said.
So, what do you think makes Taurus different from other audiovisual integrators out there in the space?
I don't know. I don't pay a lot of attention to competition in the sense that I don't judge what we are against them. I would judge it more that we try to be, well, first, like I said, we learned what not to do, how not to treat employees or customers from the companies we'd worked for. And then we tried to use the approach that, well, how do I like to be treated when a service company comes to my house to fix my cable or hang my TV or, whatever. And so really it wasn't, it's not no brilliant observation or anything. It's just treat the customer how you would like to be treated, treat the employee how you would like to be treated. that's really it.
It's solid. It's solid. I don't think you hear enough of that from C-level, leaders. They don't start that way. They start with some other vision of, we wanted to provide this type of product set. They don't work the way that you guys worked, which is really backwards to a lot of people. They started with a core foundation of belief around service and then found the other pieces of the puzzle to make it work.
Right. Well, it was never motivated by, I don't want to say not motivated by money, because everybody wants to make money.
But you're in it to make money.
But that wasn't truthfully, was not the main goal. Yes, we want to make money, but what we really wanted to do is create a company that people like to work for, that we like to work for, and make some money. That's it. And so really whatever came of that, became of that, to where we are today, we didn't envision necessarily, but.
Well, that's the story I always tell people is, whenever they ask, how did we get here? Or what was the vision or whatever? I'm like, mostly, as I understand it, Aaron and Kevin worked for some crappy companies, didn't want to work for crappy companies anymore. And as a result, didn't want people working for them that felt like they were working for a crappy company.
Yeah.
And then, if you treat them well with the vision that you want them to treat the customers well, no big deal.
These people.
Can you?
It's all right. It's all right. One of these days, what we'll do, as soon as you walk into the podcast studio, we'll just immediately send an EMP
use a wand,
we
could EMP bolts directly through to your phone or your
We
pocket.
could go old school and get one of those suction cup baskets on the outside of the door. Throw your phone in there.
So now that we have had all of these experiences for the better part of 2 decades, what do you say that you're most proud of that the company's been able to accomplish?
To be honest with you, what makes me the proudest is to hear an employee tell someone else how much they like working here.
Nice. It just kind of comes back around to, you've created an environment that people are proud of, that they look at as a family, and that they're cool bragging about, which Corey and I we do all the time. Like, sometimes I'm wondering if these people watching us are like, oh man, they're just drinking the Kool-Aid, and they just don't know until they come and experience it.
Well, it's just true. I don't know, we're going to have an emotional show here, but I can get a little bit.
We made Coop cry in the last one.
It does make me emotional thinking about it.
He was like, I thought you guys weren't going to make me do this.
Thank God that it's worked out like it has, and we're able to employ as many people as we do. But really, that's all it was really about.
It's not a product of luck or accident. I think it's right people and right vision. I think genuinely, if you take care of people, whether it be the customer, and take care of is a generic term. That could mean anything. That could mean helping somebody out when they need help, or when a customer's having a hard time, helping them out, knowing that they'll come back later when they have the opportunity to return the business.
I would like to be treated.
Yeah. Yeah, when somebody comes over to the house to do work, just treat me fair. Like, treat me how you want to be treated in your own home.
See an opportunity to go over and above, do it.
Yeah.
Takes you 30 more minutes, do it. Zip tie that up. No, that's not your job, but it needs to be done.
That's one of the hardest things to teach is, like, be observant, look for things that you can correct along the way. Like returning your cart. Robert?
Yeah, gosh, we got on a big tangent about that earlier, and we're just going to go ahead and talk about it right now.
Well, the thing that I asked you off air was, and I'll say it, I don't have a problem saying it. Do you know anybody who is quote unquote successful? And I don't mean making a lot of money. I mean, reasonably happy in their existence, who doesn't return their cart.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I paid that much attention to my piece. I go to the store by myself. I don't go with my friends, but but I have noticed.
So you weren't judging other people while you're there?
Well, I can't say I haven't judged a few people that they weren't friends, or if they were, they're not anymore.
So that's not on your friendship application.
No, but if I did see that and it was my friend, I would certainly talk to them about it. Forcefully.
I love how political you're being with that.
I've explained to them how get your head out of your. Think about the next person, or
expletive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I lost it
That's a
earlier.
microcosm of the bigger. Pay attention. Think about others. Open the door. You see that lady coming over there.
Just wait.
Get
2
to
seconds.
the door and open it for her. Pay attention. That's my kids.
It's a good because it does come full circle back to what you're saying, and I was losing it earlier because during the big ice storm that we had almost like three or 4 weeks ago now, I'm always the guy that goes to the grocery store. I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of like my thing now, and make a trip to the grocery store, and it seems like everyone had lost all a muscle ability to do anything physical. They don't mind grabbing the cart, even pushing the cart through the 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of snow, whatever they got in that area, out to their car. But to push it the other 16 feet to go to the bay was somehow very difficult. And so I was just like,
Well, probably because they're about to freeze to death. If you stayed out
that's not
30
an
more
excuse.
seconds,
That's not an excuse.
your skin's going to freeze. I mean,
Well, it goes back to what you're saying earlier that you can't say that it's not my job. It's about human decency.
yeah. Well, it's not your job.
And
but
doing the right thing.
Right.
And the right thing
When no
is
one's looking.
to make it a little bit easier on the next person that's there.
doing
and-
when no one's looking.
And put the cart back. Put it back.
Yep.
So,
Not that
okay.
tough.
I'm done with it.
Especially they give
I'm
you
done
things
with it.
out there in the, out by your car to put it in. You have
right.
to take it all the way back.
2 Robert rants in one day. We've won the lottery.
Okay. Well, I did my best not to cuss during it. So kudos
job.
for me. That's a
Good
point.
job, sir.
1-0. So tell me, what's the funniest thing that's happened to you, either working on a job for Taurus while working at Taurus, or maybe just one of those previous professions you had as you were in the industry?
Oh boy. Man, requires some thought. There's a lot of funny things. Well, a lot of funny stories. I don't know if I would say funny. We did certainly some crazy traveling. Me and Brandy traveled to South Dakota. We drove up there to
Drove to South Dakota from Texas.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to hang 6 projectors.
What kind of drive time are we talking about here?
A long time.
Well, that was in Rainey's truck when it was green.
No, we borrowed
Right?
Coop's.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we borrowed Coop's truck to drive up there because his was the fewest miles in the company. Mine had a lot more miles.
Sure, go ahead. Stack
And it was
more
bigger.
miles on the truck.
It was full size. So we drove it up there, installed 6 projectors. One time I drove from here to I think St. Louis to pick up a car, do an install or something. Then I drove to Denver to do a flooring installation, or I sold it actually. I was just make sure everything was on track there. Then I drove to Oklahoma City to meet Coop and somebody else to finish the job there. Then came home. It's not necessarily funny, but it's just, funny part is I leave Dallas hot, Missouri hot, Denver not hot. Had shorts, shirt, t-shirt. Had to go buy like a full on winter clothes.
You're going to buy a parka.
Yeah.
You didn't just like open Google and go, "What's the weather in South Dakota?"
There was no Google at the time. Boy, that makes me think of way back.
MapQuests.
Way back when we used to have pagers, one-way pagers, not two-way, and had calling cards. So we go to the payphone. You call. I remember one time about burning my hand in Arizona, Yuma, or Phoenix, I think it was. It was so freaking hot. The phone sends my hand. Had to go somewhere else to get a phone that wasn't in the sun. Yeah, just weird.
In a phone booth, I guess.
Yeah. In a phone booth. One time I think it was in Ohio. Late. They closed at 5. The site I was going to. So my flight's late for some reason. Get in the rental car. I do what you should never do. Went out the wrong way. Blew 3 tires in the car.
Oh, no.
Got out of the car, went back to the rental, said, "Hey, damaged car's out there. Give me another." Poop, got another to the side. Did the install. Left at 5:50.
And then 8 weeks later, you get that
A
bill.
bill, yeah, for 3 tires and
You didn't buy the damage waiver?
No, never. American Express. Never leave home without it.
That's a great plug. Hopefully, we can get some marketing
Yeah,
sponsorship
get some money
dollars.
off of that. MX has been a partner 18 years, been a customer.
So before we get into some kind of funny questions, for those that may be listening, what advice would you give to anyone that's thinking about starting their own business?
Boy. That's a tough one because we like to joke and say we were just dumb enough to do it. And that's the truth, really. We were so naive as to what's all involved in running a company well. We had the desire, but we did not have the know-how. I didn't have any mentors at the time who ran a corporation. My dad was self-employed most of his life, but he wasn't never incorporated. So I didn't learn a lot of things that we had to learn along the way. So I would say definitely consult with anyone you know that has had or is in a corporation, running a corporation, to get as many different points of view as you can. Just about the myriad of things. That
you might find yourself not doing it though if you may. If you get, I'm guilty of that. Whenever somebody spitballs an idea, and I'm like, yeah, but did you think about these 900 things? And then all of a sudden they're like,
well, that's what you need, though.
I'd say the younger you are, the better.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Well, I just
the younger
had
you are,
this.
the better when you start, because the older you are, you do learn a lot of things, and like you just said, Corey, it does tend to, you just get wiser, and you think, that's a little more risk than I want to take. Well, there was no risk as far as I was concerned. I was already at the bottom. I had nowhere lower to go. So
I actually maybe I shouldn't tell this to Kevin, but I've had this conversation with, I think, 3 people now who have left and or are leaving Taurus to go start their own business. And I encourage them because
I got no problem with that.
In 2 of the cases, they're young, they have no children, they have little to no attachment, they haven't bought giant fancy houses that they've got giant mortgages on, they're relatively unattached. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if you're going to do it
now.
Do it now. Like,
I would encourage them as well. I would. More power to you. Hope it works out well. You got any questions, ask me. I'll help as much as I can.
You prepared to give out your personal email and cell phone number here on the air, just so that way people can consult with you anytime?
anray15@gmail.com.
Yeah, I've encouraged the same thing. I'm just like, don't wait until you're 45 with 3 kids to decide to bet the farm on whatever your business is.
Maybe sometimes you get started, then start asking the questions, because now you're in it. Now you can't get out. You're in the roller coaster. You're locked in.
Well, and
then try to figure out the best you can, the way to do it best as you can. But I wouldn't want to discourage people from starting a company, but do it with your eyes open.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. It's circumstantial depending on what type of situation you may be in.
Sure.
And in a situation like yours, we only have to go up from here.
Seriously, I had nowhere. I was making, can I say, $27K, wife and kid, house, $27K. Not a lot of money.
No.
So I had nowhere
inspirational
else to go. And that's when we were working 2 jobs, 2.5. While we're starting the whole first year, I had 2 jobs, and I taught Aaron how to sell floors, so we could, both, make some income off flooring. So it wasn't easy, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like much of a risk to me, and I was all in. So,
cool.
I've often thought to myself, you and I could be working for a flooring company.
Yeah, that's
wouldn't
true.
be near as fun.
That's true.
It would be Taurus flooring.
I wonder what the pitch would have been like as I'm sitting there pouring drinks at my bartending job, and
you want
Aaron
pergola
says,
flooring?
He says, "Hey man, have you ever seen hand scraped floors?"
Yeah, we did epoxy, man. Epoxy and acid stain. That's what we did. No tile, no carpet.
Yeah, you don't need all that.
No,
this is lifetime.
Grocery stores and stuff, and their bakeries.
Oh yeah,
and whatnot.
didn't think about that.
And honestly, we could have been doing that, because to me, it wasn't about what we did. I didn't care what we sold, what we installed. That was never, like I said, it just happened into AV. It wasn't. I was never out there going, "Ooh, can't wait to do AV." It didn't really matter. It was just doing right by people, doing right by customer.
Whichever one took off first, Robert. Whichever one took off first.
It would have been that way.
Technology is not a bad idea.
Yeah. So it wasn't about technology per se, although I'm happy that we're in this business now. There's a lot of perks that make this better than flooring.
Yeah.
But it really didn't matter. It was just about wanting to do the right thing, and we had the opportunity to do it. So
actually, if it had ended up being Taurus flooring, I wouldn't know either of you.
Yeah, you never would have hired on
You'd
over
have been
here.
the mechanic or
No, I was in the technology.
stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he was already in the.
Come on now, why are you going to bring that up?
That's a tough gig too.
We talked about it earlier.
Yeah, in the last podcast, we were talking about if you weren't in this business, what job would you be doing?
No idea.
No idea? You don't think back
No
to
idea.
the skill set that you had before you started with PDS?
PDS? I was a bartender.
Okay. So at that time,
Oh, can mow yards too. Yeah. An edge. I could run the edger by myself.
You could have a $20 million lawn care business.
Sure.
You don't seem too enthused, or a flooring company.
I like TV. It's nice. You know why? We work in the AC. Honestly, that's a huge
That's
perk.
the best.
When I used to hire dudes, that's what I would tell them. When interviewing them, I say, hey, dude, we come in late in the job. Usually the AC's working.
I don't think Kevin knows we were doing like outdoor video walls now, and we're doing
Most of the time we work in
complete
the AC.
network systems
Most of the
for
time.
camps.
We're still most of the time in the
Yeah,
AC.
true, very true. So we're gonna get into some rapid fire questions, if that's cool with you.
Yes, sir.
Corey's gonna kick us off. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
I don't want to look at them.
Yeah, don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Okay.
What was your first job?
Sacking groceries.
For what store?
Albertsons.
Oh, nice.
On I-20.
It's your
and
store.
Carrier and Grand Prairie.
Okay, so when you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
Sacking groceries at Albertsons. On 20 and Carrier.
Except for now you're a customer.
But the last thing you're
I'm
going to
sorry.
do is bring those carts inside.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've brought other people's inside. Maybe that's why it matters to me, because I was a sacker. And we weren't allowed to take tips either, which I thought was crap. But
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
instant. You're going to get fired.
pay me
if
what, $1, whatever, and I can't. Yeah. Okay.
Did you ever take tips when you weren't supposed to?
Yes, I did. Anytime they gave them to me. Yes.
You were like, we're allowed
Yeah.
to take
Don't
tips.
tell anybody inside.
It's not like back. It's not like
Hey,
now
I'll take
they
your cart back for you.
Hey, there you go.
It's not like now they can get Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
Albertsons still will bring your groceries out to your car.
Yeah, that was our
At least the
job.
one
I
in
like that
McKinney.
service.
what-
Brookshire does that too.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I'm sorry. When you're not working,
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite thing to do?
I like to sit in my hunting stand at the property and look at the animals.
Very cool. Very cool. Corey?
Hidden talent. What's your hidden talent?
Hidden talent.
Or maybe another way to word it is, what's a talent you have that most people probably don't know anything about?
Well, I'm a bit of a musician, a bit of a singer.
A singer?
Yeah. I play a little music and do some singing sometimes.
I got a quick tangent story on that. Okay. So I get hired, and one of the very first jobs, if not the very first job, Kevin and I fly to San Francisco.
Oh, boy. Here we
And
go.
we get on site to a job, and at this time we were outsourced from another provider. They gave us a list of materials, who to talk to, and you go figure it out. And we just so happen to have another team over in Oakland, and we're sitting there kind of, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm, Kevin's trying to do all of it, and he makes a phone call over to the other team. It's like, hey, you guys come over here and finish this install, I'll buy you dinner. So they get over here from Oakland, finish the install that night. We go out to dinner, go out to have some drinks, and I may have had one or two many drinks, and I may allegedly
It had been a long day.
had fallen asleep at the table in the bar.
Yeah, we flew west. Remember, that's 2 hours more daylight. So you were
You're just
it was
trying to
2
make me
hours.
feel better.
Well, no, that's why you were tired. You know what I'm saying?
And I wake up, and Kevin is on stage, wailing "Journey." Sounds so professional, like American Idol, just right there. And I'm shocked. There was nobody said, "Hey, Kevin likes to sing. He's a good musician." Nothing like that happened. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, I'm still way inebriated at this point. And that's how I found out Kevin liked to sing. I liked to play instruments, and
There's a lot of smoke in that place too. It was pretty.
yeah. No, like
That
the
was
way I envision there's lights coming through, and it's hard to tell if it's you or not.
It was. Yeah, it was like a concert. You know, the smoke and the lights.
Yeah, man, it was
the
intense.
drinks and the
I wasn't sure who I was seeing.
There's like
up
12
there.
people in there. I mean, it was
So like
crazy.
Stevie
Can I-
Ray Vaughan.
Can I tell you the first time I heard Kevin karaoke story?
Yeah.
Boy.
It's different than your story, I promise. It was Kevin and me and Adcock, Kevin Adcock,
Okay.
who was your roommate at the time.
Uh-huh.
And the three of us are sitting at a four top table in a bar listening to other people karaoke. and Kevin are on the same side of the table, and I'm on the opposite side of the table, and we're all fairly inebriated. And I think it was here in Grapevine, or well, we're in Flower Mound, but over in Grapevine. And I don't know what happened. I don't know why this happened, but I reached up and kind of tapped, and I'd only known Kevin probably less than a year at this point. I kind of tapped him on the cheek. I don't remember why I did that. We must have been joking about something, and that was part of the I don't know. But I tapped him on the cheek. And then Kevin goes up and starts singing, and I'm like, dang. and then Adcock reaches across the table and slaps the nonsense out of me, slaps the drunk out of me, and looks me dead in the eyes and says, "You don't ever slap Langham, ever."
I don't remember that one.
And I didn't even know what to say.
That is a rule in my house, though. Yes.
I didn't even know.
It's a good rule.
I was just like, okay. I mean, he slapped the nonsense
That's
out
an
of me.
awkward / amazing.
I have never heard that story, Corey.
That's a good one.
And then Kevin comes back from singing. I'm sober now because I'm got the crap slapped out of me. Adcock probably doesn't even remember doing it, and he's happy as a clam, and I'm over here like, I think I may have messed up. I don't know what I did here. I think I probably just went home.
Handprint on the side of his face.
It doesn't hurt so much like right here.
Just right through here.
Oh man, I'll never.
That's a new one. I have not heard that.
Forget that.
Next time I see Adcock, I might ask him about if he remembers that one.
What's your favorite word?
Conundrum.
Oh, it's a great one.
That is a great word.
That's a great one. Corey?
If you could win any Olympic medal for any sport, real or fake, what would it be?
That'd be curling.
I think I said that in the last one.
That's a good one.
I mean, dude.
If someone were to play you in the movie Taurus, who would it be?
John Ritter.
John, you knew that answer way too fast.
What?
Are you pitching our story?
What? Y'all thought about John Ritter already?
No, that's not even.
Yeah, that's who we were. That's who we pegged to play you as John Ritter. What is that?
So I don't know. I got told many times when I was younger, much thinner, that I looked like John Ritter. So I just thought, well, I guess John
Who did
Ritter would play
Aaron
me.
choose? I want to say it was like Brad Pitt or something.
Of course he did.
we were joking. We thought he would say Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
But he didn't. I don't remember who he chose. We'll pop it up on the screen when people look at it so they can compare
Yeah, John Ritter. Look him up.
Aaron and Kevin's answers. Go ahead, Corey.
If you had to choose only 3 adjectives to describe yourself, what would it be?
What's an adjective?
That's my question.
Oh, descriptive.
It's a descriptive word. Yeah.
Boy. Kind, I hope. Try to be. Thoughtful. Try to be. Fun.
I think those are the exact same 3 that Aaron gave.
At least 2 of the 3.
We'll also
Really?
compare that on screen,
I
too.
think so.
Wow.
I think they were.
Well, now you know why we're partners. Business partners.
Either way, whatever works out in the
Business
end.
partners.
What's your favorite beverage?
Scotch. Scotchy scotch.
Yeah, Scotch.
Scotch? Okay.
I was trying to do my best Anchorman, but it's terrible.
Corey, you're up.
Stay classy.
If you could teach one subject in school, what would it be?
Holy crap.
Hold on. I know the answer to this.
What?
At least I know the answer you should give.
All right, let me, yeah.
Personal finance.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that would be the title or whatnot.
I don't know what the title
What
is.
to do with your money? That's what I would call it. But, yeah.
Is that what you're going to say? What to do with your money?
I feel like young folks, either, back then or now, don't get taught just basic stuff about what to do with your money, how to use money.
I just wish
how not
somebody
to fall in the trap of money, because money, like anything else, can be evil or it can be great. It just depends on how you use it. And they just, I've learned through, now 30, 40 years of screwing things up several times, what not to do. We're back to that again. what not to do. I can't tell you I'm not a money expert, but I can tell you what not to do. So
That's very good. I like it. I like that a lot.
I wish there had been something like that around in high school that I would have. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody said something,
Yep.
but I probably wasn't listening.
Yeah.
So the pitch of the class has got to be something that I'm going to be like, yeah, this guy's cool.
Mhm.
I don't think high schoolers are. I don't want to.
No, that's probably too young.
Yeah.
Well, but kind of not.
I think it depends on the pitch, though. It's not the curriculum. It's got to be the pitch.
What I've told my kids, which are they're about to be all high school or up, is I want them to learn to love watching their savings account go up more than driving a new car or, having the new Nikes or whatever.
That's a good point.
Grow to love watching that sucker go up. It's so cool.
I love it.
If I can make that fun, it's just, I think that's a good basis for anything you do financially. Just learn to love to keep the money, not spend it all.
Until the aliens land and make you choose which animal you're going to be, which we'll get into in a second.
Yeah.
What?
I think you know which I'm going to be.
Okay, we'll get to it. What's your favorite lyrics of all time?
My favorite. Oh boy. Pass. Can we go? Can we come back to that one?
Oh, no.
Does it have to do
Yeah.
with a boat?
Don't you ever forget. Yeah. I've been on a boat and it goes fast and
Go ahead.
got a nautical theme past being an Afghan.
I think this was performed at your wedding, right? Or your wedding
Yes, our
reception?
reception. Yes.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, I'd say quite enthusiastically performed a rendition of that song.
He didn't even skip a beat. He turned his head to the side and laughed. He's like, "Oh, this! You guys had to ask this question." Go ahead, Corey.
First celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush? I don't
Your
have,
first
man. I'm not.
celebrity
I'm not into celebrity. I don't.
You're
You're
first.
telling me when you were 16 years old, you didn't want a poster?
I grew up quite in quite a reserved home,
I see.
quite religious.
I see.
I didn't have a TV in my home until I was 12. And I don't know. I never revered or looked up to people on TV that much. If I had to say, it would be a little bit older. It would be Kelly LeBrock. Weird Science. Woo!
Oh yeah.
That girl's
Okay.
hot.
Oh, all right.
I think that
Okay.
stands for my question too. So you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it does. Television show you've recently binge watched.
How many? I literally cannot remember what's going on in the shows. My wife talked to me about it, and I watched it a week ago. But there's just so much out now. It's ridiculous.
You spend a ton of time outdoors, though.
I do,
you
but
get to watch a lot of TV.
Well, when I do, I binge it.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I'm old,
like-
so I can work one day, and I got to take at least a day off.
Gotcha.
Maybe two. So, unfortunately, I'm like a fireman. 1 day on, and 2 days off. Television show I binged. Boy. See, I can't even remember the titles now. I just watched a couple of on Showtime, a couple of Norwegian ones, or Scandinavian. I think they were Denmark or something. One was called The Investigator, foreign language. It's pretty good.
Reading subtitles the entire time.
Read the subtitles, yeah. And it was a good show. But you could tell that they're very different, just their idea of the way they operate, very different.
Yeah.
Not a lot of talk, really. A lot of blank times and just watching them do stuff, Very different, but entertaining.
Okay.
Regardless.
Okay. What's your favorite city in the United States besides the one you live in?
Besides Texas.
I said city, didn't I?
Well,
Did I say
we could just all
Country.
of Texas. Favorite city in Texas.
No,
No.
in the United States.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You can choose any
Because you
city.
got
like
to
in
do a lot of
Texas.
traveling,
Sorry.
like from the get-go with
In,
PDS.
in the United States.
Yeah. We don't even have to say the continental United States. We could just go like the entire United States.
I hate to say this. Napa. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Had a good time in Napa. Several
Napa
times
is
I've had a
cool.
good time. It doesn't really go with, I think, my overall who I am, but man, I had some good times there.
Maybe what we
It's
should do
beautiful.
next time we ask the question is elaborate on it. Like, what other city could you live in? What other city would you just want to visit for a short amount of time?
Why don't you ask me which city I would not want to live in?
Okay, let's
San
do
Francisco.
that. San Francisco.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
Is it ironic that you have to almost fly into San Francisco to get to Napa?
It is ironic.
Or
If
Oakland.
I could skip it, I probably would.
Or Oakland.
But then I have to land at Oakland,
That's true.
which is probably second on the list.
You could overshoot Napa by like 5 hours and go into Washington.
But I would be in Washington State.
I'm just giving you another option.
You go to Sacramento. And
I would
just
like
have a
to
long
land
drive.
in Lake Tahoe,
Oh yeah, Lake Tahoe.
which is, oh boy, that might be second. Beautiful.
Like,
It's ironic that California is probably, I don't know, in my opinion, one of the, if not the most beautiful, certainly the top 2 or 3 states in the country. Love to visit, would never in a million years live there.
Very good.
I agree. Coop's answer to this was shocking, by the way. Literally shocking.
Now I got a one up. I mean, thanks for the pressure.
I feel like there's no way he can say the same thing.
Thanks for the pressure.
I don't think. Well, I'm more putting emphasis on this because I don't think it's physically possible for you to say the same thing. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Oh, animals, for sure. I always want to know what
Easy enough.
I always want to know what my dogs are thinking. You know, what the hell are you doing that for?
So
You just
Aaron,
ate a turd. What are you doing?
Aaron asked us to qualify that question and wanted to know whether or not it included sign language.
And then when we said yes, he said, "Then I'd want to know everything."
Because he wants to know sign language.
He's not really concerned about Swahilan or Egyptian or Chinese.
Well, in any relationship, you want to keep a bit of mystery, even in business partner relationships, and that is a mystery to me. I don't know why.
I don't think we even delved into it any further.
I mean,
than that.
Honey Badger, he doesn't want to know why.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I mean-
he doesn't care.
Okay.
So name one thing that you've learned the hard way.
One thing?
The chuckle is like,
Boy.
how do I narrow it down to
Man.
one?
Made tons and tons of mistakes. And I don't know why that makes me emotional. I don't know. But, golly, that's weird. What was the damn question again?
Name one thing, if you can, that you learned the hard way.
Learn the hard way. Live within your means. That's I
think
did
that's
not
a
do
challenge for a lot of
I
people.
didn't do that for a long time, and I try to keep up with the Joneses or whatever, and it's an impossible to win. And if you just ignore that, you'd be so much better off in your life.
That's good advice too. You've given a lot of good advice today.
I'm still figuring that one out.
He's given
It's
a
tough.
lot of good
It's
advice.
tough, and to be honest with you, it's tough in town. If you live in the country, it's very different. I don't live there. I plan to, but it's just different. You just, there ain't a Jones right next to you. They're way over there
Exactly.
or whatever. And you just don't concern yourself with what they're doing. You concern yourself with, what do I need here? I'm doing stuff I never thought I would ever do in my life. I'm driving a heavy machinery and, plumbing. Doing plumbing.
Yeah, you
and-
mentioned
He's
earlier
got an
you gotta
appointment to do some plumbing after
do some
this.
plumbing.
Gotta
after
go do some
this.
plumbing, which I'm not a fan of, and I don't want to. We would not start a plumbing company ever, never. But boy, essential.
And you're not talking about a doctor's visit here, right?
No, sir. I'm talking about actual
Real plumbing.
real ass PVC. CPVC, PEX, copper, blah, 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 50 million things that you got to know. NPT, garden hose thread, MPT thread, IP thread. What the? Yeah.
I think he might be more triggered by this than the.
I
the
think he
the
is.
shopping
I
It's,
think
carts.
it's a touchy thing.
I'm telling you.
How much time are you going to spend on YouTube with this whole plumbing thing you got going?
I had a buddy who was a plumber, and
Okay.
I learned just enough
So you know people.
to get it going, but boy, it's similar to AV. Every little wire counts, man. You don't assume that goes there, or don't assume because it looks like it's garden hose thread that it is, because it's not. It says MPT clearly on the paper. That means something. They don't write it there for no reason.
MPT or MTP.
I'm sorry,
mini twisted pair.
MPT, male,
Oh.
national, pipe
Learning
thread.
stuff about plumbing.
Did you get that?
Didn't know that.
Did you hear
was
what I said? Male.
Yeah. Male.
What's MPT?
Pipe thread.
National pipe thread.
Oh. Wow. He's so serious
Little
right now.
FYI.
Well, and it's called pipe thread for a reason because it's a different shape the normal thread.
It's a tighter threading.
It's also conical, so that it gets tighter as you screw it in.
The thing is, you learn. Why does my travel trailer have a female receptacle for water when every other time you ever screw on a water hose, it's a male? Why?
Well, maybe it's just
Because
made
you're
on the
connecting
other
it
side
to
of
the
equator.
end of a garden hose.
To teach me a lesson. That's why.
Okay.
Don't assume.
So hold on. I know the answer to this one too then. What are you most looking forward to in 2021? And I'm going to say plumbing.
Never plumbing again. What am I most looking forward to in 2021? A Christmas party.
Right?
Yeah.
Heck,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
Please.
That's a good
last year I
answer.
thought we did pretty good for the circumstance, but I'm going to keep that opinion to myself. I'm tired of not being able to have a Christmas party.
I'm ready to spend
I'm ready to blow a bunch of money on employees. It's fun.
I'm ready to spend time with everybody
Yeah.
partying a little
Yeah.
We had that meeting the other day. It was crazy. Everybody here wants what?
That was cool.
Well, you
That's
know,
cool.
we have our company picnic coming up
That's true.
very shortly.
That's still on.
It's not off.
It's but we're going to do it like as if there's no.
But we're doing it the smart way. For those people
Aw.
listening, we're making sure that everything is done the
It's
smart
coming.
way.
It's outside. It's
Oh, yeah.
outside, and it's a giant property.
Awesome.
It's gonna be
We've
awesome.
been waiting to do that a while.
I've got another question I want to ask. That's not on this piece of paper.
Rapid fire.
Yes, it's a rapid fire question. I'm trying to remember exactly how it was
It's not
worded.
very rapid.
So
to be honest with you.
no, it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm trying to formulate the question. A non-political conspiracy theory that you believe in.
Non-political conspiracy theory. Wow. How do I? If it happened to a politician, does that make it political?
Maybe-
We're talking about like not things about election fraud or
No. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
JFK. I don't think he was shot by homeboy. Not just him.
well, he wasn't.
Well, that's not the official report, but no, I don't think he was.
Aliens.
There was definitely other. No,
He was shot by aliens.
I did not say aliens. Kevin didn't say aliens. You been giving my weird theory on that? I don't know if they're aliens.
Oh, no.
I don't believe they're there, but I believe they could be.
That was his answer, is aliens.
What do I know? I'm just a little human. That's too big for my brain.
My answer was serious, and y'all's is kind of just funny, but mermaids. Mermaids are real. There's
Not a chance.
proof.
Not a chance. You saw that on Discovery Channel?
I'm really
I
thirsty
did see
now.
it on Discovery Channel.
Fake
Discovery
Channel.
Channel
No.
doesn't
No.
make fake content.
Oh, they sure do. Absolutely do. Is that a conspiracy? Because they sure do. Did you see the Fox man jumping up the wall
I
100
haven't
feet?
laughed
That
this
got
hard
you?
on. It's great.
What day was that on? What day did that
on a
air again?
Tuesday.
It was on a Tuesday.
Now, if you saw one, hey, I'm not saying you didn't see it. Because you can see what, our eyes are nutty.
Your brain fills in a lot of holes.
But not a chance. Yes, it does. Absolutely build a scenario around, but not a chance that there was one shooter from behind. His head went backwards.
You must have watched something recently on the History Channel.
I've seen enough. It's ridiculous that we're fed a certain line, and when it's so like, are you kidding me?
Have
Supposed
you-
to believe that?
When's the last time you went down to Daily Plaza?
Never.
You've never done the tour
I mean,
thing?
I've driven down the road, but never done the tour. No.
Oh, man.
I watch documentaries. I love to watch documentaries.
You got to do it, and especially on the weekends. I don't know since COVID, but on the weekends, there's a couple of people down there, and they have made their own conspiracy theory pamphlets that detail their own. It's really professionally done,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll hand them out, and they only cost like $1, $2, $5, whatever. It's fascinating stuff. It's fascinating
I
stuff.
bet it is.
So you don't have to go on the tour to go down there, but
Do
if
they
you
have
go
like a
down
shooting gallery? Like you can try it yourself to see if you can.
I don't think they. I don't know.
I think that would prove it
it's
right
a bit
there.
morbid, but it also sounds like a pretty cool
It
experience.
would prove it right there. No, not a chance it happened like that.
My ex-wife and I actually chose that as one of the tourist things to do on our honeymoon.
to go.
My ex-wife and I.
to go to.
Yes.
She chose it. That's why she's ex.
Yeah. She's like, go stand down there in the middle of the road real quick.
Oh, now start running at 10 miles an hour.
We don't have a limo, but we got this big piece of cardboard. Will that work?
Just a lot of weird
Clearly,
stuff.
you're
a lot of
right
weird
if
stuff.
that's the case.
A lot of weird stuff. That
So
goes on there.
we had a lot of fun earlier, and we'll kind of close with this one. Is that if you were about to be transformed into an animal, and the person that was about to do that transformation allowed you to pick the animal, what would it be? What animal would you be?
I'm gonna. I bet you a crow.
A crow?
Yeah, they're pretty damn smart. I really like that movie.
The Crow.
Yeah.
This is a good movie. Good soundtrack.
And they make this really cool noise when they're flying that you can't hear around town because too much side noise. But I was hunting one time in New Mexico, and I could hear this bird coming from behind me. It's quiet as hell, till they don't want to be quiet as hell. Then they are obnoxious loud, but super smart. Can just get into, I don't know why.
You'd be a
Just
crow.
what came to the head, crow.
You'd be a crow. Okay.
All right.
I like it.
Probably going to regret that answer later. It's going to be a bull. Duh.
That's why we put it on the front. So, man, hey, we really appreciate you joining us today. I thought it was
My pleasure, of course.
It was fantastic. It's inspirational. A lot of comedy there. My
We
face
should do this
hurts from
instead of
smiling.
1 p.m. We should do it at 9 p.m. sometime
9 p.m.
and see if the answers are different.
Yeah, but no matter how much editing, I can't get rid of slur. So if we're gonna be drinking your favorite beverage, it'd be very difficult to
Scotch.
Scotch.
Do the next one in the Scotch closet.
Oh, I like that.
The Scotch
So
closet.
did he call it closet?
It's
Whatever.
gotten,
lounge.
It's gotten downgraded.
The lounge.
The lounge.
So
I don't
Kevin-
like to say that word, lounge. It just sounds pretentious.
That's a lot better than closet.
That's actually what I named it as a room. And
Yeah, I saw it.
The lounge.
I saw
the lounge.
it. So
Have you
Kevin,
booked
thank
it
you
in
again,
now?
man. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
I enjoyed it.
And
Hope I answered right.
yeah, and we'll throw some
feel
things
like I
up
scored
on
an
the
80
screen.
at
No, I
least.
think you did good. I think I got
80,
98.
85 maybe.
You did good.
98.9.
Definitely a passing.
If we
grade.
round it, if compared to other retards that I get,
Well, listen,
get a 90?
if we're just grading against you and Aaron, and we grade on the curve, you got 100.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
true. That's true.
You got it to 100 too, Aaron. Don't worry.
So for myself, for Corey, Kevin, thank you again. We really appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. If you have any questions, you would like to know about any more content that we'd like to talk about on here, please email us at info@taurustechinc.com. Y'all have a great day.